From popular demand, we're gonna learn how to do the up to front on something like this. So up to front is where you roll up to the obstacle, front tire first, start leaning forwards and then to the back tire and then hop off. When you're first learning how to do these, you'd wanna get something that's a little bit lower than what I'm on right now and something that's a little bit wider. So because the thinner that it gets, the harder it becomes. So once you start like doing like rails and things like that, that's probably the hardest. But like just like a regular ledge, you can still do it on, but it's gonna be a lot easier. But I'm gonna show you the basics on what you need to do in order to learn the trick. If you can find something like this is perfect. Because this isn't too high, it's relatively wide. So if you don't land your back tire exactly where your front tire was, it's fine. It still gets you the movement. Initially, you want to do them in angle first. You don't really want to go straight at it. You kind of want to turn in the direction that like you normally would turn if you're doing a 180 or something like that. You don't want to go straight at it and try to go like this and then like that. It's going to be harder at first to learn, to get the idea of how to get your back tire exactly where your front tire was. At least for me it was. So one thing I would suggest is doing it to the side a little. You kind of want to start a little bit at an angle, because I found that when you're hopping like this, your back tires are already a little bit closer and you can kind of hop closer and you can work your way getting straighter and straighter and hopping further with your back tire. For something like this, that's fine, but once you start getting to rails, you can't necessarily be sideways when you're on your back tire, because then you'll miss it and you'll run off of it. So you're gonna have to start working your way getting closer and closer straight. So once you've graduated from something that's lower and wider, you can start going to something that's similar to this. It doesn't have to be quite as high. You want to roll at a relatively slow speed. You don't want to go too fast, because then you're going to find it overwhelming trying to match where your front wheel is to your back wheel. So the key is, once you hop, right away, you kind of almost like want to imaginarily like ride up the obstacle, like kind of roll directly onto it, and then lock your front brakes, and then lock both brakes, and then switch to the back tire. So it involves a lot of leaning forward. It's actually really scary to do because you don't want to go over the bars, but something you really just have to kind of get over. You know, you're probably going to go over the bars, but that's why it's good to practice on low stuff first and then work your way up. And really moving forward over your bars. And you don't want to wait too long, because then you're going to be nose heavy and then it's going to be really scary. So you kind of need to gauge when it's time to transition to the back tire. It's relatively soon, right after you get the front tire on. It's better sooner than later, because later you'll end up going nose heavy and probably over the bars. With this trick, really the key is not going too fast and leaning really far forward to kind of make your way up the rest of it. You don't even have to necessarily hop that high. You're really just hopping up like kind of this much, kind of trying to like roll up it the best you can and hitting your front brakes, and then doing the transition to the back. It's definitely gonna take some practice. It's not easy. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any other videos you want me to make, and have an awesome day. And remember, don't get discouraged, and see ya.